قطعنامه مصوب پارلمان اروپا در حمایت از تحریمهای نفتی و مالی علیه ديكتاتوري آخوندی و تحریمهای افزوده علیه سپاه پاسداران بروکسل 2 فوریه 2012. پارلمان اروپا تلاش رژیم ایران برای دستیابی به سلاح اتمی و تشدید فعاليتهاي غنیسازی اورانیوم را که نقض 6 قطعنامه شورای امنیت ملل متحد و 11 قطعنامه شورای حکام آژانس است به شدت محکوم می‌کند. پارلمان اروپا خواستار اجرای دقیق تحریمها علیه رژیم ایران میباشد و تهدیدات این رژیم برای بستن تنگه هرمز را به شدت محکوم می‌کند. اجلاس رسمی پارلمان اروپا پس از بحث‌های فشرده نمایندگان این پارلمان با حضور کاترین اشتون، نماینده عالی و رئیس سیاست خارجی اتحادیه اروپا، قطعنامه شدیداللحنی را در محکومیت برنامه رژیم آخوندی برای دستیابی به تسلیحات اتمی و در حمایت از تشدید تحریمها علیه این رژیم تصویب کرد.
Thank you, Madam President. Lady Ashton, the method the Union is following in its relations with Iran is a kind of combination of diplomacy and sanctions. But let's not deceive ourselves. We're talking about a brutal, dictatorial, inhumane regime. And we're all aware that it's impossible to reason with those who are irrational. Just remember the attack on the British embassy in Tehran a few weeks ago, so that you can just to understand what the Iranians understand by diplomatic relations.
President, Iran's nuclear military ambition and its government's constant refusal to engage with the IAEA and UN Security Council demands constitutes a major threat to global security. It also poses a potential risk to peace in the Middle East, with an existential threat to the State of Israel in particular. It's also likely to lead to a regional arms race, with neighbouring Gulf countries such as Saudi Arabia also wishing to acquire nuclear weapons if Iran is allowed to possess one, in breach of its NPT international legal obligations. It also regularly interferes in neighbouring countries from Bahrain to military propping up the Syrian Ba'athist dictatorship. All the more reason, therefore, why it must never become a nuclear power. And contrary to what some have said, no future or further options to prevent this should be excluded from the negotiations. Thank you.
My group, the EPP, welcomes the decision taken on the 23rd of January to enact sanctions against Iran. After the prevention of many businessmen from carrying out activities, the fuel sector steps that have been taken, the logical next step would be to try to stop Iran exporting some of its oil. These steps are never taken lightly, but they're very significant in the case of Iran because of the danger of nuclear proliferation, because of its nuclear research program. I think therefore it's important that the EU has shown a strong hand here, and our firm tone and the sanctions will give a clear signal to the Iranians that we are not going to permit them to continue their nuclear program. Those people... Mr. Stevenson, for 1 minute, please.
Mr. President, the lessons of the Arab Spring hold true for Iran just as much as for any oppressive government anywhere in the world. Ahmadinejad and their fascist colleagues in Tehran are not immune to the winds of change that are sweeping across the Middle East. They see the writing on the wall, and that's why they're intensifying their efforts to build a nuclear weapon, so that they can reassert their authority in the region and hold the free world to ransom. We have surely by now recognised the abject failure of our policy of appeasement, Our attempts to appease the mullahs simply provided the regime with time to continue its promotion of terrorism worldwide and its construction of nuclear weapons at home against a background of desperate oppression and human rights abuse. So I welcome proper sanctions against this brutal terrorist regime in Iran. It's worthy of note that they are one of the few remaining countries who still support Assad in Syria. There's no place for dialogue with these tyrants. Let's work robustly for regime change.